Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So I actually need to change the oil on the truck. It's been 3,000 miles, a little over 3,000 miles, and that is typically when I change it. So I want to go ahead, kind of go through all the process. I've done multiple videos on this, but it's always rewarding doing your own maintenance. So I'll walk you through it again, but I also wanted to discuss something because it's been going on in my mind a little bit. I figure maybe we'll do like a maintenance and talk or oil change and talk, whatever you want to call it. But first and foremost, let's go over everything that we need, and then we can get started. Okay, so this is everything you need. My truck's a 3.5 EcoBoost, so I use the recommended Motorcraft synthetic blend 5W30. You need 6 quarts, so always get the 5-quart jug and the single quart here. The filter that I use, and that is recommended, is the FL500S. Some of the tools that we're actually going to need is an 8mm to take off the under tray where the oil pan is, a 15mm box wrench to be able to take the oil drain bolt off, some type of funnel, and I also use an oil filter strap wrench. It really helps because of the angle on the F150. I also have a little container here that I use to dump the oil catch can in here every 1,500 miles or so. It's not much. I think this is from 2 oil changes ago, so it's typically not that much normally. But I like to keep track of it and dump it in here so I can see how much is coming out and making sure it's good and nothing crazy going on. Also some paper towels, and you're also going to need some type of oil drain pan. So this is the one that I use. I will link everything below if you want to do this yourself. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Pop the hood, we can get under the truck. All right, so before I get started, the first things that I do are pull up the oil dipstick. Just pull it out so it allows air, as well as open up the oil cap here. So I like to leave that kind of on an angle here so nothing can fall in, but it still allows the air to flow so it flows out of the oil pan nice and easy. So let's go ahead and hop under the truck, pull off the pan, and then we can get to the oil drain bolt. I got a bunch of softball stuff over here, so it's a little hard, but 4 8mm, and this pan comes off. All right, put that out of the way. All right, so oil drain bolt is right here. It is a 15mm. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock it loose. I also put some cardboard down just in case, which I normally do. But it's always so hard to show this angle, getting this drain bolt loose and draining the oil, but I'll do the best I can. What I like to do is hold up the pan because it kind of shoots out towards the passenger wheel a bit. But I like to apply pressure to the bolt. So when it's completely unthreaded, I just pull it out. Like so. Only a little on my hand, which is not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and let that drain. And then we can move on to the filter, but not too bad. All right, so while that's draining, I'll go ahead and loosen up the oil catch can. I always forget which way to turn this. For some reason, it always confuses me, but I think it's towards me. But what I want to discuss is I have a huge craving for a monster V8. And I've been looking into, naturally, a F90 M5. I'm a big fan of those. I think they sound great. They look amazing. I'm not a big fan of the new G M5. I like the touring, but they're just massive. And I don't know, something about it I'm just not crazy about. I think they're just a little too big. Ooh, that's smoking, still hot. But I've actually been looking into, which is kind of, I don't want to say unlike me, because I've always liked these, but a CT5V Blackwing, which is honestly, I think, the best sports sedan V8 out there today. I think it's very underrated. I think it's better than a Hellcat. I think it's better than a lot of the options out there. And something about the Blackwing really interests me. And I think one of the reasons why is because you can get it in manual. You can't get a manual on the F90 M5. And the new M5 especially, you can't get a manual. Something about a monstrous American V8 supercharged. It's like 660 something ridiculous horsepower and torque. I don't know. Something about that really, really interests me. Now, obviously, I'm not really sure where that type of car falls into place in my fleet with the F80 and the truck. So I don't know. I don't know if I would sell the truck for it or the F8. I don't know. Or sell both and just use that. I guess it's just a constant car guy in me, always trying to think of some crazy schemes to do some certain, experience different cars and all that stuff. But that Blackwing, man, I've been watching videos. I've been building one out, modifying it, on some websites and stuff. And those things are just monsters. I mean, they're like, and I'd want a 25 because they did the refresh to them. And, I'm seeing them anywhere from like 110 to 120 or something, which is kind of crazy. Because a F90 M5 you can get for under 100, a competition. So I don't know. I would love to drive one and try one out and see what I think. But it definitely interests me. Now, if you're like me, when the it used to be called the CTSV, when they had the wagon and the sedan, you were able, the older ones, you used to love those. So I apologize if I said CTSV at any time. Now they're CT5V Blackwings. But they are so cool, man. And those things just lowered slightly and with a really nice exhaust on it. And I even like the stock wheels too. It spaced those out. It's a pretty sweet ride. You get a really nice interior and everything. And I don't know, something about them. I'm sure a lot of you, I posted about it on my Instagram and everyone was like, do it. Trust me. It's the greatest thing in the world. I have one. They're great. They're fantastic. Trust me. It's better than the M5. And I really, really would like to test drive one and see what it's all about. But I really don't know what the purpose of it would be in my, in my stable. I still want to get the GT3. That's still my number one alongside the F80. So I don't know. But let me know what you guys think of the CT5V Blackwing. Does anybody have one? I would love to see if anybody local has one and test one out. All right, so it's dripping rather slow. So I believe everything that I would want to get out is out. The engine was warm, so it came out nice and smooth. Now it's just kind of dripping away here, but you get to reuse the bolt. You don't have to change it every time. There's no crush wash or anything. I've changed this a few times on different oil changes. They're like $3 for this specific bolt, so you can get a new one from Ford. So I usually replace it every, I don't know, maybe once a year or so, just to keep a nice fresh bolt on there in case if there's any corrosion or anything. And they're not expensive, so it's relatively cheap to replace. Now with this, you don't want to, there's no torque spec, it's just tight, good and tight, like that. And then I just like to wipe up any drips on here. We are good there. All right, so now we can move on to the filter and then we can start filling. So let me slide this up and move over there. Next up, we have to remove that white filter. I use my strap wrench. It's just so much easier to get to it. Although it's still a pain in the butt. I hate doing this filter. But this gives me the leverage to be able to kind of loosen it, and then I can do it by hand. So I wrap it around up top there, and then I just pull down to loosen it, like so. And it comes out. This second drip over here on this little tray here. Yeah, I don't think you can see it in frame. But it's supposed to come out the little drip tray here, but it never does. All right, so now I can do it by hand. There we go. And All right, angle it up as best as I can. Dump out the remaining oil. Just gotta put it in the pan and let that drain. All right, so it is done draining. Just gonna clean off the surface of the filter area. And then I take my pre-oiled filter, which is, everyone always says is not needed, or they never do it, but I like to do it just so the system doesn't starve of oil when you first start it up. And remember, do this by hand, not with a wrench. All right, that's good, that's on. Now we can go ahead and go to the top of the truck and fill it with the 6 quarts of the synthetic blend 5W30. The best part about the oil change is filling it up with new oil. So first thing I do is put the oil dipstick back in, get my funnel, and then I take my 1 quart bottle and fill that up first, and then I look underneath to make sure there's no leaks, because obviously it's much easier to replace 1 quart than the big 5 quart one. So dump that on in. And as I mentioned, I do this every 3,000 to 3,500 miles. I think I'm at like 3,300 on this one. I've been busy lately, so I didn't get to do it exactly at 3,000. I know some people say they can go longer, but that's just what I like to do. And oil is cheap. This whole oil change is like 40, 50 bucks to do this on my own. So it's not bad at all. All right, so I checked. No leaks. Now we can do the big 5-liter one. All right, so this is the most nerve-wracking part because you don't want to spill it. And this one's hard to do. It's just a weird angle. Oop. Once it gets lower, I'll turn it on its side and then it goes a little bit smoother. But let me know what you guys think. Should I go after a CT5V Blackwing? I think that'd be a really cool, fun build. Again, a GT3 is still my number one, but I don't know, something about an American screaming V8, nice and choppy with some cams, would be pretty darn sweet. Not to mention it's a family car, basically a ultimate dad car. 4 doors, very accommodating, obviously very comfortable. It's a Cadillac, and I've heard they handle really, really well for what it is. I'm not sure of the weight of those things, but apparently you don't feel it when you're driving it hard, and it does really well on the track and back roads and stuff. So I don't know. These things are pretty sweet, but my eye is still on the prize of the GT3. I promise that is going to happen. But it's nice to kind of chat and think about some other options as well. I think that'd be really cool to experiment with something totally different. I've never owned a V8, and I'm craving one. So I don't know. Maybe we'll go the American V8 motor route at some point. All right, so the last thing I like to do is fill up this 5 quart jug. And usually the 5 quart goes up to about like, I don't know, here. And then I fill it all the way to the top, and usually that's a good indication that the full 6 quarts came out. So I'm gonna try my best not to spill it, but simply gotta aim it over that hole, and hopefully we don't spill. Oil looks good, no metallic sparkles or anything, so that's a good sign. This thing has almost 91,000 miles on it, so it's getting up there. I know one day I'll either replace it with a newer one or something different, but this thing is still kicking it, and I love it. It's been tuned for like, I don't know, 20 or 30,000 miles too on the 5-star tune. So this thing's pretty legit. All right, guys, oil change is complete. Everything is back. Everything is filled up. We are good. So the last thing I like to do is actually go into the cabin and reset my oil light or my oil lifespan. So I'll go into, let me just, actually, let me start it up. Everything is good. So what I like to do is go over to trip 2. That's what I keep on my interval. Oh, I'm actually at 3520, so 3,500. And I'm going to reset that. So so I know exactly how many miles are on this oil change. And then I go over to engine information, click OK, and then as you can see we're at 35%, and I'm going to reset that. So all you got to do is hold OK here, and that resets to 100%, and we are good. So next oil change will be in another 3,000 to 3,500. That's at 0, and I keep it on the digital speedo. We're good. All right, guys, so there we go. Oil change is complete. Happy I was able to get that done. As I mentioned, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to kind of attend to the cars recently. I've just been driving in them, enjoying them. So finally getting some time at night to get this done is really nice. This took me like a half an hour, 40 minutes with filming, so not bad at all. This is kind of, I can do this with my eyes closed at this point. But this truck needs a wash. The F80 needs a wash desperately. I've been driving it a ton. You can kind of see all the dust back there. The Telluride needs a wash. Everything needs a wash. But I've just been enjoying the cars, and as I mentioned, I've been so busy that cars have kind of taken a little bit of a back burner for me for a little bit. But we actually do have something coming in for the F80. We have some really nice interior parts, Alcantara parts coming from MF Interior. I'm actually going to be doing the rear diff bushings and brackets soon, but I got a pretty busy summer ahead of me, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get that done. But I'm definitely going to be doing that, and I'll kind of document that process. But otherwise, going to be enjoying it. I'll be going to Impact as well. I'll be with Auto Couture, so if you guys want to check out the car in person, it will be there and their booth. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know what you guys think about the CT5V Blackwing. Let me know if it's a worthy vehicle to own. Let me know some other V8s, that would be cool. Corvettes are cool and everything, but I like the idea of being able to bring my entire family in it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things, the car guy in me, my mind started going a little bit and started watching some videos and stuff. And I was like, man, those things are pretty darn cool. So I don't know if I'll follow through with it. Obviously, I'm still very much enjoying the F80. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you would do if you would pick one up, if that would be your daily driver or your fun car or what have you. If you have one, let me know. I'd love to hear your experience on one. I would love to find one locally or find a dealer that has one that would let me drive one, because I'm really curious about what I would think of them. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions at all about the oil change, the F80, the truck, or anything else at all, please leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple. I'll catch you guys in the next one.